Hey Chris, it's that time of week again, and it's been a crazy couple of weeks.
Yeah.
The At least in New Jersey, you typically hear about these people from remote places. This week, the county of Somerset actually finally got their email system back up and running after over 10 days of being down. And then last night and this morning, we saw the Tenafly school system. Is shut down. Well, they canceled finals, and when I did some research, it looks like a lot of their internal systems are compromised, and students might be getting a vacation. Students are definitely getting a vacation from finals this year. Kind of sounds like war games.
You guys have had a rough couple weeks. We had two colleges here get hit with ransomware at the beginning of May, so they were down. It was Kellogg Community College and then Kalamazoo Community College down in the southwest part of the state. They both got hit with ransomware within like 2 weeks of each other.
Wasn't
So
there was another one too? Wasn't there Lincoln College?
I'm trying to
It was
remember.
a 100-year-old university or
That was in
something.
Illinois. Yeah, yeah. So it's schools are a big target because they lack resources to do adequate cyber protections. So plus you have a bunch of kids and stuff like that. You have a bunch of teachers that if they don't follow good practices, if they click on links, if they do certain things, it's going to lead to this kind of issue. Haven't seen finals canceled though because of it. That's a new one.
Yeah.
I I guess from a school perspective, if it's going to happen, this is probably the best time of year to happen because you have time to recover. We saw. I think was it last year there was a ransomware that was right at the beginning of the school year. That'd be the worst because now you're really pushing the school year back. But
Yeah, the article I saw that said the school's going back to some old school techniques of teaching, some
yeah,
hands-on STEM projects for the science class, and even breaking out the overhead projectors that some of these kids have never seen. And
well, if they're like me, they can't write either because I type everything. So I know, yeah, it's just to bust out number two pencils and paper and stuff like that when you're so used to doing everything digital. It's kind of a rough go.
yeah, I just posted on this morning. I posted a picture of kids playing with grabbing the papers that were handed out and smelling them because if
Yeah,
they went back to really old school, instead of photocopiers, they'll be using spirit copiers, which are all alcohol based, and it was
we,
pretty funny. But
we
that's
have enough.
way before your time.
We have enough distractions today. We don't need people sniffing paper while in the middle of class to try to do things. No, in all seriousness, no, it's kind of scary just from the standpoint of like these are the other stuff
So
that's happened in the past couple of weeks in schools is terrible enough, and now you're getting to where the education part is getting affected because ransomware and who knows how long it's going to take them to recover. We don't even know yet.
so you're right. We don't know the specifics of this ransomware, of the school ransomware attack or the Somerset ransomware attack, but in general, I know there was a report that we were talking about was it the Verizon report that came out recently?
Yeah, there's Verizon does a data breach report. They've been doing it since 2008. So this is like the 15th one, and they spoke specifically about ransomware and basically ransomware and like account compromise are the top two attacks. And then to follow up on that, they looked at small business, and those are the top two for very small businesses. And when they define very small businesses as businesses of under 10 employees, the typical employee of the typical company that when you go in and talk to them, they're like, "Why am I target? It's your target because of opportunity, right? Like you probably aren't doing the things that you need to do, so people can target you, and if they can get
Sure.
money out of you." I was reading something yesterday where they were talking about how the new thing we know about double extortion, like you and I do, like where they'll steal the data, they'll ransom you, and then if you pay it or if you don't pay it, they're going to say, "Well, we're going to leak your data anyway," and then you're going to have to pay them again. Well, they're getting to the point now where it's even triple extortion, where they'll ransom you, and if you pay that, they'll say, "Well, we won't leak your data," and then you'll pay that, and then if you don't fix it, they might just come back in and ransom you again, and then just keep repeating that cycle. And that's something that we got to be very careful about. Is I talked to another IT person. I'm not going to drop any names here, but he was in the middle of a ransomware incident with a customer, and they did not want to get the FBI involved. They did not want to get local authorities involved, and they didn't want to get an incident response company involved. And the problem with that is they were just going to format things and just set it back up. Well, they don't know how they got in the first place.
Yep.
If you don't know how somebody gets into your network, or let's use your house. If you don't know how somebody gets into your house, and you just, I don't know, whatever, let's say they ransack it, in this case ransomware, if you don't fix how they got in, it's just going to happen again. It's going to happen again. And it's going to cost you more and more. It's going to get worse and worse. And at some point, you're not going to be able to recover from it. So, and CISA is dealing with this right now, the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, where they see the stuff with ransomware, but so little of it is being reported, because the stuff we see in the news, unfortunately, is schools, hospitals, bigger businesses. We're not seeing these small attacks. And a lot of times those indicators of compromise, those IOCs that are in those, or the TTPs, the tactics, techniques, and procedures that the hackers use, if you share that, you can help other companies avoid
Sure.
this. And it's,
So I was on a call. We were on a call yesterday, Chris, and
yeah,
I was with a forensics guy that was talking about, even something as simple as, I say it's simple, but something as
yeah,
simple as a breached email access is leading to about 40 hours worth of forensic work to figure out what happened and how it got there. So
yeah,
this is not a quick reformat. Let's get everything up and running again. And what I was leading to before about the Verizon report is, yeah, the school system got ransomed right before finals, but they probably didn't get infected right before finals. The what
yeah,
what we're seeing is these breaches, and the bad guys are sitting on environments. It's anywhere between 100 and 200 days, depending on whose report we're looking at, of how long the guys are actually sitting on those network, exfiltrating data, figuring out what you've got, and maybe messing with some outbound email or doing other stuff before before they pull the trigger and really ransom the environment to cripple you and shut you down. Because face it, everyone, this is a business for these guys,
well,
and they've got processes.
and yeah, the size of the organization matters too. So if you're a bigger organization, the longer they're in there, the more they can do recon, and they can figure out like what's going on. A lot of these smaller businesses, though, they might only be in there for 7 to 10 days,
Okay.
maybe a little bit longer before they actually attack. Because if it's a small organization, it doesn't take them that long to figure out what's going on. It just doesn't. They do recon. They figure out what they can get access to. They'll do research on your company. They'll figure out, if they do get access to like what your bank records are, and they see how much money you have, they're going to find that out pretty quickly, and they're just going to do an attack and see what they can get. Um,
Yeah, well, we were on a call. We were talking to somebody that had a ransomware request, and it pretty much matched what they had insurance coverage for.
yeah.
So the bad guys had found their insurance
Yep.
policies sitting online.
Yep. Well, I mean, we like most of the time now. I mean, I don't know, when I do mine, I'm doing it through email. So if somebody actually did compromise me to the point of getting my email, they can read that.
Yep.
They know what my policy is. It's not like I'm doing it physically in person anymore for the most part. I mean, most of the agreements we sign, most of the contracts we sign are all done through digital signature. So, if you get your accounts compromised, it's pretty easy to figure out like what you're doing. And we share a lot through email, including a lot of companies share a lot through email internally, because it's not leaving, and they think, well, that's okay. Well, you know what? It's okay until somebody gets access to your email and suddenly can see all that, and now they have all that data. So it just kind of highlights it. I think to kind of bring this back around, it highlights, look, it's increasing. Ransomware is more than about doubled last year. Schools are getting attacked, everything like that. It's on us to share information. Like our community, I think we're doing a better job of sharing information today. But when you're a company and you get hit with this, you need to call your local state police, call the FBI, or at least submit that through like ICE, IC squared, yeah, Internet Crimes Center. Um, I just screwed that up, but it, submit it through there, because it is important that we share this information so that we can identify the people that are doing it and kind of like go after
And
them.
depending on depending on the jurisdiction and the state you're in, there are state requirements that'll probably soon be federal requirements for having to make reports of what's going on. And
Yeah,
the days of just reformatting and moving on is not enough. And really, if you don't have a breach response plan, let's sit down and talk about creating one, because
Yeah.
trying to figure out who to call at the last minute is not where you want to be.
Yeah. Humans don't do the best in stressful situations without a plan, right? So if you're emotional, or especially if it's your business or whatever, you're not going to make rational decisions. And we need to kind of keep people kind of in check and make sure that we're making rational decisions. So like Bob said, have a plan, know who you're going to call. It could be simple. It could be, hey, I'm going to call my lawyer, I'm going to call my insurance agent, I'm going to call my IT provider, and then have those names listed, those numbers listed, so that even if you're not available, somebody inside the company can.
So I'm going to throw something out here. Since there's been two major breaches in New Jersey in the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I'm going to throw it out there that even if you have an IT company, or you've got an internal IT team that you think's got everything covered, reach out to Chris or myself, and let's take a look at doing a mini pen test process that we've developed through a third party to really do a sanity check. Let's see what the bad guys could find if something comes along. And I've actually got some free time for this month to do 2 or 3 of those for free for people that reach out. I can't speak for Chris's time, but let's reach out and really get on a call, spend 10 minutes, talk about what you're doing, and see if it makes sense to run this pen test. Because would you rather find out from us, or would you rather find out when the bad guys are knocking on the door and you come in and find a ransomware message sitting on your computer?
Yeah. Or suddenly your information is published on the internet.
Actually, I did see I was at an event where somebody had the FBI come knocking on the door to tell them that their data was on the internet.
Yeah. Or you go check your credit report and your credit's now crap, and you're like trying to figure out what's going on. Yeah, I have a little bit of time. My team has more time than I do right now, so we could definitely help in that case. Look, it's diagnostic, right? We need to diagnose what's going on, and we need to kind of figure that out and give you a plan for what needs to be done. So we're not here to make things up. We'll go through the report after we're done with it and kind of show you like where your gaps are, and then it's up to you to figure out how you want to handle the gaps. And that's really what it's about.
So wherever you're watching the video,
Yeah.
there'll be a link that you can click on, or send us a direct message, and let's make sure that you're safe and that you can sleep better at night, because that's our job.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. So
until next week, guys, have a good week.
We'll try to have more. We'll have to try to have some sunnier news next week. So
some happy news next week.
Yeah, we'll try to figure out some happy news. we'll do our research and find some happy news, kind of balance this out. So, all right, have a good week.